Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, heard and seen live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, on the Hangout10.com network. Hey, it's great to be with you today. I'm Dave Cirio, your host. Got a couple friends with me. We're going to talk about automobile repair, things that have to do with automobile business, and give you some helpful hints on how you can save money or at least be a little smarter when going to the shops, the repair shops or the body shops, or even for detailing. We'll try to help you out in that situation. First, we're going to start with my friend, Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Mike was the first one up, so let's talk to Mike. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
Good, Dave. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Good to talk to you. So
Good.
What'd you work on today?
I don't even know what year it was. It was a Kia SUV. That's all I can tell you.
See, you do work on daily drivers there once in a while, huh?
Yes, I do. It came from Philadelphia. It was my wife's boss's car, so we didn't have much of a choice. But it was rough. It was rough. So,
it humbled you today, didn't it?
yes, it did. Reminded me of where it came from.
Yes, and it kind of made you think that, boy, I could be working on a Ferrari right now, you know?
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking all day long.
Oh, well, at least it got you through that.
Yeah.
And that's good thing. So I'm glad to see that you got through it. And what's behind you right now? Is it?
That's a 97 Porsche 911.
Very good.
This week is Porsche week. There's a big Porsche show Saturday at the Manor Tavern, and in northern Baltimore County, and
Right.
I have 3 of them to get ready for that. So I have 2. I have a Porsche Boxster sitting outside, a new Porsche Boxster, and then I have an older Porsche Boxster coming Friday. So they're all just getting spruced up a little bit for the show.
What do you think of the Boxsters?
I don't think. Well,
You
let's just say it's the affordable Porsche.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
say
That
that.
kind of says exactly what you're talking about. I understand that.
They're okay. The newer ones are a lot nicer than the original ones. I'll give them that. They have more of the 911 interior, and along with the Caymans, they kind of style themselves after the 911, which I'm told the Porsche designers are the laziest designers in the automobile business because every car they design looks the same. But
Well,
I prefer the 911s.
I'm not a big Porsche fan, but my favorite Porsche over the years was the 80s version of the 928.
Yes, yes. I always did like the 928s.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very attractive car for a front-engine car. I thought they did a nice job on that.
Yeah, and from what I understand, you can pick them up really reasonable, really low mileage models in really good shape. You can get them for a really decent price.
Yep, they don't hold their value as well as the 911s by any means.
No.
But they have a different type of clientele.
Yep.
Usually a 928 person is not going to be looking at 911s and vice versa.
Right, right. And when I worked at a repair shop, we worked on a couple of those, and I can tell you they're a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They're difficult to work on.
Well, any Porsche is, including the 911s, but most of the people who work on the 911s know them well.
Yep. Yeah, everything you do to a 911 is engine out.
Yeah. Isn't that incredible? You think about it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's time for your 10,000-mile service, sir. We're going to have the engine out in about 2 hours, and we'll call you with an estimate. What?
Well, this one in particular, her son is a Porsche tech, so it works out good for her. But she had an oil sensor, a pressure sensor, go bad, engine out.
Wow.
Yeah, to replace the oil pressure sensor.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just in a place you can't even see it. You can't get to it from underneath or on top, and it's engine out. So,
that's incredible.
yeah.
I guess now I don't feel near as bad about some of the designs I see in our repair shops. That's for sure.
Yeah, it amazes me.
So things have been going pretty well in the old Shine Shop Auto Detailing.
Yeah, I was hoping to have some pictures of that Mercedes I talked to you about.
Right.
But we can't get the Google thing to work. But anyway, yeah, we've seen got a little bit of everything. I think this weekend I'm going to a family reunion Saturday with my wife, but Sunday we're doing a fairly new GT500.
Okay.
From a client who just ordered his Hellcat Challenger.
Did he really?
And at the same time, he ordered one of the anniversary Chargers. I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, the 100th anniversary. Yes.
He ordered one of those at the same time.
Guy's got excellent taste.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He's
Excellent.
a very nice man. Very nice man. Loves cars. Has some real nice cars.
Now, is this family reunion yours or Lena's?
Would be Lena's.
Meaning the side, yes. I'm not saying they're not your family. You're married, you are, but it is Lena's side of the family.
Yes, yes. Apparently they haven't been together for 20-some years, so we're going to Rocky Gap, which I've never been to, so I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, they'll probably find out why they haven't seen each other in 20 years.
Well, they're from West Virginia, and I could say something, but I won't. So.
That's okay. You know, I just heard on the news that the West Virginia State House burned all the way down to the wheels.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, well, we could go on, but
yes, we could.
I'm pretty sure Elaine is watching, so I won't say.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. She's already slammed me twice. I still owe her one.
So right. I think you could probably pretty much forget your appointments, Dave. So.
Yeah, pretty much. January of what year? Yes. 2015? Nah, I don't think so. Gotcha. All right, Mike. Well, hold on just 1 second. We'll talk with Mr. Windward, and we'll be back with you, okay?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you very much. Mr. Windward happens to be Dave Windward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. And that's weird because that's what you call your company, but you really do a lot more than just that.
No, absolutely. In fact, everyone says we should call ourselves Jasper Transmissions and Engines because we sell a lot more transmissions now than engines.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's doubled, probably close to being tripled at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, the engines are just lasting so much longer than they have in the past. I mean, think about it. Back 20 years ago, 100,000 miles was you got your life out of it, and now you're looking at 200, 250, and the transmissions, you're lucky to get 100 out of most of these vehicles. You know, there's some good ones that'll last longer, but we feel that almost every new vehicle sold at one point is going to need at least one transmission in its lifetime.
That's true. That's true. And, you know, nowadays, we have engines that are failing at 80, 90, and 100,000 miles, and we steer people away from them, where 15 years ago that was the norm.
Yeah, and a lot of times the reason why they're failing is just simply abuse. You know, they've extended these oil change intervals. Some manufacturers recommend 10,000 miles. Well, if you're telling someone 10,000 miles, they're probably going to go 20, and by the time it hits 25, it's done.
We had a guy at 24,000 miles on his synthetic oil change.
Oh.
Yep. He had his oil change done March of 2013 and brought the vehicle into us last week, and it was low on oil. The oil light came on. The oil level light, thanks for heaven for him. The oil level light came on. So he brought it in, and he was wondering why it was low on oil. And 24,000 miles, it still had our oil filter on it.
Wow.
And our sticker still glowing on the window for a 5,000-mile oil change, our sticker right on there, and it was 19,000 miles over the sticker.
Yeah, hey.
You know, to me, I have no sympathy for the person whatsoever. If that engine fails next month, it would not even bother me in the very least. Just write them up for a, you know, remanufactured engine and give them the bad news. Because that is, I mean, you know, if you do that to your kids, you come up on charges. You know, if we still had horses, okay, these are the kind of people that have their dead horses on the side of the road. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So what you got for us today, Mr. Dave?
Well, I have another contest.
Okay.
Last week we did not have a winner. It was a pretty tricky one, so we have another one this evening. And I have really neat information. I took a bunch of videos the last time I went out to the plant a few weeks ago. And what I have a video of is how we can fix cracks in cast iron heads. And a lot of people say you can't weld cast iron. Well, the fact is you can, but the process is really, really cool, and it takes a long time. And I have just a quick video that kind of shows what's involved to actually fix cast iron.
Well, let's talk about, first of all, cast iron heads. They're not available anymore on any modern cars. But if you have a historic car or maybe a truck, okay, a heavier truck engine, they may be still available. But your cars are almost all aluminum heads.
Yeah, and most of the heads we're working on that have cracks are either, like you said, the classic cars, or most of the diesels still have cast iron heads. So you know, and that's mostly what we're seeing is the diesels. And these diesels, they're operating at much higher temperatures now. The fuel's a lot different than it used to be. And we're not talking big cracks. We're just talking little, teeny, microscopic cracks that, sometimes are just superficial to where, like the old Volkswagen engines, those heads used to crack all the time in the Beetles, and you just put them back on. Well, some of them don't matter, but some of them do. And whether they're superficial or not, we're fixing them. We don't want a cracked head whatsoever.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's show that video, and let's learn something.
Sure. So basically, the video is very short, but in order to properly weld cast iron, you have to slowly heat up the entire head or whatever part you're using to about 900 degrees.
Wow.
So you have specialty designed kilns, and you can't do it quick. I mean, this is a process of several hours, because what will happen is you'll get a lot of warpage if you just try to, heat them up too quick.
Special kilns, or you can take them over to my mom's apartment. Either one.
Okay, we can try.
There you go.
We use a special welding rod that some people call black magic. So there's different names for this welding rod, but it's a cast rod, and then it's actually hand brazed, or not brazed, or hand welded when these heads reach 900 degrees. And then after that, you just can't turn the heat off. We have to reduce the heat about 100 degrees an hour for about 8 hours to get these back to up, just normal temperature, and then we can proceed with the machine work. So I'll show a video, and you can see the flames underneath this kiln, and then you'll see a guy. And we also have one of those infrared thermometers, and we're pointing on that so you can kind of see the temperatures that this is getting to.
All right. Whew.
So here we go, 5, 7, 8.
What's it go to? It's around 900.
There's 900 degrees.
Wow.
And there's special, I think that went back to the beginning, but there's special fiberglass cloths that kind of, cover it. And then there's a big burner. It's like it looks like a big grill underneath. It's just a big propane burner. And we were actually subletting all that work out, and to the tune of a couple $1 million a year for other companies to do this for us. And what we found was the quality was, at first it was good, and then it got to the point where we felt we could do a better job ourselves. And another interesting thing is that the suit that gentleman was wearing actually has cold water circulating through it. That area was so hot that I had my iPad, and I was holding it over, and I literally was getting burned just from being that close to that heat.
Did your iPad start to tell you overheat?
Not, it wasn't that, and I have had that in the car. If I sit it up on the dash or something, yeah, I've had that. But I got it real quick, and then I pulled it back.
iPads have no sense of humor. They are worried about their tan lines, no doubt about it.
Yeah. But
very good.
That was a 6-liter Ford, the diesel, which is one of our better-selling diesels.
I would understand that being one of your better-selling diesels. And do you sell that with the complete fuel injection and everything attached to it?
Yep, we sell them as a long block, or which we call our complete format, or as a running complete that has all the injectors, the turbocharger, and of course we also sell the injectors and turbos separately. That's a newer product line that we have. But that engine, I think they quit making it in 2004.
9.
Well, actually, then it went to a 6.4, which is a little bit different animal, and now it's a 6.7. But they just made so many of them, and people are picking these up pretty inexpensively because they're, everyone knows the problem. So if you
they got a bad rep, no doubt.
Yeah, you pick one up for $5,000, and you put $10,000 into it, and you spend $15,000-$16,000. Now you got a nice truck. So to buy a nice diesel truck for less than $20,000. If you're pulling a camper or something like that.
That's for sure. All right, so what's your contest there, Mr. Dave? And then we're going to get back to Mr. Mike for a moment.
Sure. Well, last week, the contest, let me pull this up. This was...
That's your video.
There. Do you guys know who this is?
Nope, I didn't know either.
I didn't.
This is one of the most, and I Googled this, so I don't know how accurate it is, but this is one of the most popular automotive tattoos. So it's the Smith Racing Cam. They were very popular back in the 60s, and they're still in business now. And in fact, they were selling more merchandise than they were selling camshafts, and they've just started making camshafts again. For a while, they weren't even selling cams.
You were breaking up as you mentioned the name. What's the name of it again?
Clay Smith.
Clay Smith. That's pretty neat.
A lot of people think this is the Thrush exhaust logo, but the Thrush woodpecker does not have the cigar hanging out of his mouth. So that was we did not have a winner. We had some close calls, but no winner.
Okay.
And then this, I have a new prize.
Okay, what's the prize?
This is let me see if I can pull this up. We have some Jasper Engines Cajun seasoning, and it's absolutely delicious. Good on fish, chicken, vegetables. It's kind of similar to Old Bay, but it is the Jasper Engines 100% associate-owned Cajun seasoning. And you can name what tool is this, and it's not an axe, it's not an ice pick. It's that's
right, the first correct answer of what that tool is at jasperman73@gmail.com gets the Cajun seasoning from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. 100% associate owned. So when people open it up and they don't see associates in there, they think they're going to get ripped off.
Yeah. And to the Sullivans, I finally sent you your barbecue sauce, and that is in the mail.
Very good. Probably as soon as the post office finds out it's barbecue sauce, you'll never get it, folks.
Well, I went to the post office today, and I just handed them the bottle, and I put it on the counter, and I said, how do I mail this? And she made me fill out the thing, and I had to hit liquids and on the. She said it'd be there tomorrow, so we'll find out.
There you go. jasperman73@gmail.com. Mr. Dave, we'll be right back with you, buddy.
All right.
Mr. Mike. So, the Shine Shop and C-Quartz. We haven't done this in a while, so I need you to spend about 2 minutes and describe the attributes of C-Quartz, how it's applied, and also some of the other reasons to use it, to have it.
The C-Quartz Finest is what we use. C-Quartz, the company is called CarPro, and they make 3 different C-Quartzes basically. 2 are consumer versions, the original C-Quartz, and then C-Quartz UK, which was designed for obviously for the United Kingdom and for Europe, and then C-Quartz Finest. And the difference is of the amount of ceramic material that's in the product and the ease of use. C-Quartz Finest we went with. It's only available to professional detailers that CarPro has decided that have some idea of how to polish paint correctly. So they kind of vet us, and they talked to some of our clients, and they looked at pictures, and so that's how we got chosen to be one of their installers. It's a quartz ceramic coating, and what that means is it actually chemically bonds to the paint of your car versus just laying on the surface, such as that a wax or a sealant will do. It doesn't wear off when you wash the car like waxes and sealants do. It doesn't evaporate into the air like waxes and sealants do when the car's sitting in the sun. And it basically will last in durability in terms of years versus weeks and months for waxes and sealants. It makes the paint on your car twice as hard as it is from the factory. It actually looks like a magnifying glass has been put on your paint. It really brings out the colors. And it's scratch resistant. I mean, it'll still scratch. It's not scratch proof. But maintenance wise, it eases up the maintenance on your car. The dirt and the dust doesn't stick to it. You don't have to wax your car over top of it or anything like that. So it's a real benefit in the ease of maintenance and protection for your car.
Now, cost wise, the only problem with C-Quartz is, as you said, it magnifies. Now, that's not a problem. That's an attribute, but you've got to get your car clean.
Yeah, you have to. Even with waxes and sealants, preparation is the key, just like anything else. But you really have to be particular about preparing the surface of the car because it will magnify any defects you leave. So, I mean, that's everything from at least a 2-step polishing process to maybe even some sanding with like 3 or 5,000 grit sandpaper to eliminate defects. And you have to really kind of know what you're doing to do that.
Absolutely. And you've done that many times.
I do it a lot.
Yes.
I do it a lot. We've been real fortunate. We when we started, we all started offering coatings approximately a little bit more than 2 years ago, and it's just exploded. It's just absolutely exploded, and it's all been basically word of mouth.
Right.
You know what I do? I have a Porsche sitting behind me. I do a lot of people in the Porsche club, and this lady was the first Porsche that we did in the club, and she just took her car to a show, and they were like, "How'd you get it to shine like that?" And she told them, and I have a constant flow of Porsche people coming in, so the word kind of spreads, and people ask me what I have in my car and things like that.
So I'm considered word of mouth now,
huh? Well, you help out a lot. I'm getting a lot of your listeners too.
Good.
So that's as a matter of fact, the gentleman I just delivered today had a brand new CRV, and he heard it from your show, and he said, "I got to have it." So it's a really, coatings in general are much better for everything than waxes and sealants. Now, for the older cars, the single stage paint and the collector cars, I stick with waxes because it wasn't designed for single stage paint. There are people that will coat single stage paints, but they've had problems within 6 or 7 months of things turning blotchy and coating's not lasting. So it just wasn't designed for that. It was designed for the modern clear coat.
Clear coat. Yeah, it's designed for clear coat.
Yes. So, but no, they're wonderful products. When we first started doing it, there was probably 3 or 4 other coatings available in the United States, and I think the last time I was on the internet looking, there's probably a dozen of them now available in the United States. So it's a matter of just trying to figure out what's the best for you.
And C-Quartz has been very good for you as far as business-wise, too. I mean, this is how you make your living, but you have been very fortunate in the fact that the C-Quartz has come around at a time where you've been able to showcase the job that you do and then preserve the job that you do with the C-Quartz.
Yeah, I haven't heard a bad word about it yet. You do have to get used to the fact that after a while, it will not feel slippery like wax, and it may not beat up as strong as wax, but you'll notice that the water still sheets off your car, and the dirt and the dust doesn't stick to it. So we give everybody a little sample of a spray detailer that they provided, which is basically an extremely watered-down version of the coating, and that just brings back the beating and the slick feel for Americans, because that's what we like.
Oh, we do? Okay. I like it to shine. As long as it shines, I'm happy.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Well, thank you, Mike. We're going to make this a short one tonight. There's 2 reasons. One, there's only 3 of us. And 2, the other reason is the Orioles are playing tonight and could possibly clinch the American League East pennant. So that's the reason right there. I was there last night at the Oriole game. I was there Friday for a doubleheader, and I was at Thursday night Ravens game. So this was a complete sports weekend for me. Well, even though Saturday and Sunday were the only 2 days I didn't do anything with sports.
Well, what happened with the incident with throwing at the head? I missed all that last night.
Let me tell you, that was just ridiculous. What happened is one of their guys slid into home, and he slid in head first, really hand first. And as the catcher was receiving the ball, he wasn't blocking the plate. He turned and moved his foot onto the plate to do the tag. The guy was safe, but I think his hand got underneath the foot.
Okay.
And he got upset and yelled at the umpire and said that he was blocking the plate or whatever, started to argue. And there was nothing done. The umpire said, no, it was a clean play, and, go back to the dugout and, lick your wounds. And the guy had a little bit more to say to our catcher and da-da-da-da. So that went, he came back out after he went in the dugout for a minute, came back out to the top steps and started doing some yelling. And then our manager came out and spoke to the umpire and said, hey, So nothing ever happened. The very next inning, the third batter of the inning was the catcher. And their pitcher threw a fastball right at his head.
Wow.
I mean, if he wouldn't have moved, he'd have been smacked in the face with this ball.
Wow.
So the umpire then, warned everybody. But pretty much everybody in baseball has agreed that there was no reason for any of this, that nobody did anything intentionally, and it certainly was not a rule breaker, that's by any means.
Okay.
Pretty interesting.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Dave Serio, host of the radio program You Ought to Know, and that is heard and seen live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. until noon Eastern Time at daveserio.com. Now, the 7 to 8 hour is aired in Baltimore on AM 1370 and happens to also simulcast on 99.9 FM, and that is in Hartford County, where my shop is, my repair shop, and also White Marsh. The 8 to 10 hour airs in Baltimore also on AM 680 WCBM, the 50,000 watt power station, and that is for 2 hours. And then 11 to 12, the last hour of You Ought to Know, is on WFMD, which is Free Talk 930 in Frederick, Maryland. So all 5 hours, including an hour of just relaxation, good music, that airs on DaveSerio.com. Let's go back to Mr. Winward saying goodbyes. Dave, thank you very much for the contest. If you put the contest screen back up one more time, the first answer that is correct at jasperman73@gmail.com of what tool that is called will win the free Cajun seasoning dispenser with Cajun seasoning in it, 100% associate-owned Jasper engines and transmissions. Thank you, Mr. Dave.
Thank you.
1-800-827-7455 is Jasper's number. Back to Mike Lambert. His phone number is 410-833-1632. And as it says on his lower third, the website is theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. Don't forget the word the before that. TheshineshopAutoDetailing.com. All pricing, all galleries of other cars that Mike has already done, and of course, information more about C-Quartz and other treatments that they have are all on the website, theshineshopAutoDetailing.com. Mike and Dave, thank you so much for being with us this evening. Have yourself a great evening, guys. And Mike, we'll talk to you on Saturday morning on the radio program.
Yes, we'll be on the road trip.
Oh, really? Where will you be?
We're going to Rocky Gap.
Oh, okay. So you'll be doing it on the phone there, huh?
Yeah, we're going to do a mobile call in.
All right. Hope you have good cell coverage where you are, Mister. It sounds good. We're looking forward to it.
All right.
I'll try to get you on as quickly as possible when you first call.
That's okay. I always get put on hold. It's no big deal.
Well, I know, but this time you won't have a place to go to the bathroom.
I know.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank you.
Dave, once again, thank you very much for being with us this evening, and we look forward to talking to you next week, guy.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, both Jasper products worked out great for us. The transmission and the engine that we got this week from you, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great evening. Thanks for being here, and we look forward to talking to you again next Tuesday evening. If you've been watching this on archive, join us live next Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Dave Serio. This is You Ought to Know Live, every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.